Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. How's everyone doing? My name is Abena and I'm here to post encouragement, lifestyle and also just tips on how you can become the best version of yourself. The reason that I'm so passionate about it is because I'm in a process where I feel like I'm very much doing that for myself, and I kind of want to bring you guys along so that we can learn, grow and become the best version of ourselves together. Now, I am not an expert, however what I do know is I'm determined and I really want more for myself, and I can't really put my finger on it, but you probably feel the same way, which is why you're watching this, where you know that you're built for more, made for more and can achieve more. And even when I say achieve more, it's not in terms of like tick box things, but in terms of just really living out your purpose and living out the best life that's been set out for you. It's weird because on social media obviously it says like live your best life, but you don't often get the tools on how you can do that. Or living your best life can always look like you're just going on holiday all the time, which might be fine, but for me, my version of living my best life is being able to wake up every day, loving what I do, making an impact to other people, and also just being able to grow and constantly evolve as a person. So I thought that I would make this video, which would be 5 simple ways in which you can reinvent yourself. And even though I'm saying you, this is very much advice that I'm taking from myself and advice that I am going to implement in my own life. So as I said, we are in this journey together. There's so many of these kind of videos online and I love them personally, just because I feel like there's so much to learn from them, and I love watching other people's journeys because honestly you can learn what they've done that has worked and what hasn't. It's good for inspiration, so all that kind of stuff. But it led me to think, what are 5 simple ways that I can kind of break all that advice down and personalize it for myself. So hopefully you find this video useful. Without talking too much, let's get into it. But before you go, if you're new here, please don't forget to comment, like and subscribe to this channel. There's going to be so much more of this kind of content coming your way. As I said, I'm on a journey, but I'm determined, and come on guys, let's do this together. These 5 steps are simple because they're practical. They don't really, it doesn't cost any money. All it takes is a willing person on the other end of this video, which is you. In this case, it's myself as well. And really the first one that I had to really come to terms with is letting go of my past self. So I had a lot of limiting beliefs, which meant that, and this is all subconscious, I've only kind of come to know this because of a lot of self-reflection and just becoming more self-aware, but I had so many limiting beliefs such as, I'll always be an inconsistent person. Like that was subconsciously in my mind. So anytime I would start something, I just would find it so difficult to finish, and it was just debilitating because it's just not conducive to any kind of situation. And I know you're probably watching this thinking, okay, but maybe it wasn't for you, which is why you would quit halfway. But I genuinely believe it's because I was setting myself up for goals that were just not realistic, setting myself up for failure basically. So I had to let go of that limiting belief and that past self and really just reinvent my mindset in terms of what I wanted to be like and what I wanted my mindset to be like. And now that I am on this journey, I know that I want my mindset to be one of growth. I want to be someone that doesn't quit and give up halfway. And the solution to that is basically just setting myself up to win, which is to basically break down all my goals into manageable and realistic expectations. Because for example, in the past when I've done YouTube, I'd be like, okay, I need to make 10 videos in the space of 2 weekends, and that's just not realistic. The quality is going to be bad, and also it's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. And then because of that pressure, it would come to it and I'd be almost frozen because I'd just not be able to kind of start, or I wouldn't be able to finish what I'd said that I was going to do, and then that would demotivate me, and it was just this negative cycle and this negative pattern that I was stuck in. And so letting go of my past self and kind of those sort of limiting beliefs is something that I think is absolutely key in reinventing yourself and becoming this new person. And I want to also just do a quick disclaimer. So when I talk about letting go of your past self, it's not that I hate who I am currently, it's not that I hate the person I was before, but I just know that I am built for better and that I deserve better, and I refuse to settle for second best. Why should we? There's no reason why you should settle. And I feel like the mindset that I was in and kind of my current self, even some of my parts of me now, I just completely let things slide, and I settle, and I don't really go after what I want. So yeah, I don't hate my current self, but I know that I'm built for more, and I want to do that because I believe that if you've had a vision or you had a dream in your heart to kind of live a certain life and that's what you want to do, that means that you also have to, in the process, evolve and become the person that can actually attain that life that you want. But the good news is, if you're able to dream it up, then for sure you're able to, take the necessary steps to get to where you need to be. It just takes some self-awareness. I think because if you're watching this, then you probably have felt quite similar, where you just know that you're built for more and you want to do more. Like, no longer does the things on this level satisfy you. Like, you want to go a level higher and live basically the life of your dreams, and that's where I am right now. But in order to do that, I need to let go of my past self. So practically, as I said, what I did was I wrote down all my limiting beliefs, all the ones that like came to me kind of consciously. There's a lot that's kind of subconsciously in there as well, and that's a work in process. But if you can write down all the things that are basically limiting you in going after the life that you want, and then write down a solution towards it. So for example, the one that I gave about being inconsistent and just believing that I was always going to be this inconsistent person, I then turned it around and I was like, okay, no, it's not that I'm inconsistent, but I need to make my goals achievable and realistic. And if I'm going to give myself this crazy timeline to like produce XYZ, then that's not going to happen, and it's just going to set myself up for failure. However, if I can actually break it down into realistic chunks, then I'm more likely to want to do it and I'm more likely to achieve it. And then that sense of achievement then kind of gives you, I guess, the motivation or the spark to keep going. Of course, you can't always just rely on motivation, but a little bit does help when you are trying to build the life of your dreams and really just achieve certain things. So yeah, having that track record of doing things is going to be like a positive effect, as opposed to not achieving things and then that demotivates you and then you end up not doing it, because that's a really negative cycle. Okay, so number 2 is a bit of a wishy-washy one, and I would always watch people be like, stop being so negative, and I was like, okay, well, it's not that simple. But really, guys, it is that simple. And I've had to like check myself, because I would say on the whole I'm fairly positive, but like I definitely would just like be saying these negative things, or like a situation would happen that wasn't that positive, and instead of trying to turn it around and trying to see like the silver lining around it, I would automatically default to like seeing the negative side of it, and that's just debilitating. Like, it really will kill your mindset, and I could see that happening kind of within myself, and it's kind of discouraging, because I try and be this positive person, but then when something bad happens, it's like, oh my gosh, like back to square one, back to being negative. So the second thing that I'm really doing in this season of my life is stop being negative. Okay, like, I'm not going to be this happy hippie. I mean, you can be if you want to be, but that's just not in my nature to be. However, what I can do is have that positive self-talk. I can control how I react to certain situations, and if something negative arises, there's almost always like a silver lining. And even if there isn't, I think just giving yourself that time to feel your emotions, be negative if you want to, but not staying in that kind of space of negativity, and just also being able to pick yourself up and then speaking again positive, and seeking out the positive. That's something that is going to be so key in this journey, and that's something that I've started doing. So even like affirmations, like that is something that I really thought was very like, okay, does it actually work? Like waking up in the morning and like saying to yourself something positive, like I just wasn't sure about all of that. However, guys, I can confirm that it works. And this is someone that was a bit of a skeptic. So if you are finding that you're being quite negative, just try it in the morning to literally wake up and say one positive line. Like the first thing you say, let it be positive. So like my thing now is I'll say like, come on, you can do this. And like, it sounds so silly, but sometimes I wake up, guys, and I'm so tired and I'm so like not motivated. But the moment I say to myself, like out loud, oh, you come on, like you can do this. Come on, you can do this. Like, let's get it. Like it sounds like a joke, but honestly, like it kind of works, because your brain is then hearing that to itself and it's processing what it is that you want to feel, and that is positive, because what you're putting out there is positive. And then on the other hand, if you're putting out there something that's negative, your brain is going to hear that and it's going to feed that back into yourself, and it's negative. And that really does affect how you react to things, how you see things, and how you view things. So like for me, when I'm waking up and I'm saying like, come on, let's get it, like let's get it, like in my brain I'm like, yeah, like come on, we can do this. Oops, I have this fan here because it's really hot over here. But yeah, I try and positively affirm myself. And I recently actually spoke to a friend on a podcast that I have, and she said that the thing that she says when she wakes up is, today is going to be a good day. And I was like, that's so simple, but like it actually works, because you're literally, before the day's even started, kind of declaring and putting out there that today's going to be a good day, and then automatically you start seeking out the good in that day. And you know what, guys, like even with me, when I was a skeptic, I was like, how are these people happy all the time? The thing with happiness and with joy, you have to be intentional about being happy, because let's be real, this world that we live in and the society that we're in is very negative, or can be very negative if you allow it to get to you. But you can kind of create a bubble that you can live in, which is positive. You know, it's a space where you feel safe, and it's a space where even if negative situations or negative emotions arise, you're able to combat it with something positive. And I really believe that this is life-changing. Like, this is, again, something I've actually started implementing, and I can tell you for a fact that it's really changed my perspective. It's really changed my mind on how I view certain things. And I think, again, it's going to be so key as I, you know, go on this journey to reinvent myself. Like, I am no longer someone that, you know, I see as negative. I don't associate with people negatively. I now see the positive. I am one of those people that I thought was like kind of crazy, but I'm one of them now because I think it works. And so I hope that, you know, you can find your own affirmation. It doesn't have to be lines and lines, it can just be one simple line, but I hope that you find that one thing that you can say to yourself in the morning that's going to give you that like perk and like give you a bit of life in the morning. You know, life is very short, and so I think if you can do that for yourself, then like why wouldn't you? You know, in my auntie's apartment, and it's literally boiling, so please excuse me that I don't, you know, I look a bit sweaty, but it's extremely warm. Anyway, let's move on to number 3, which is one of my favorite ones, because you know, when you do something consistently and it actually works, and then you stop, and then you realize like you should be doing that thing because it actually makes a difference. That for me is having a solid morning routine. And again, this is one of those things that I've read numerous self kind of help books on. And guess what? With the self-help books, they're telling you what to do. If you don't actually do it, it's not going to work. So for me, I was reading so much about like having a magical morning, having a morning routine, how that can set you up for the day. And I'd read it like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do it. That's something that I'm going to do. And I just would not do it. But I would say in the past kind of 6 months to a year, actually no, in the past sort of a year, I feel like I've been trying to do this morning routine, and I was doing it, and it was slowly but surely improving my life. Like, I had so much more clarity. Again, I was able to create a space in the morning to just like reset before I go out into the day and all its chaos. And it actually made me feel so much more organized as well. Like, I had time for myself in the morning. And then for some reason, I mean, I don't know why this is, but I came back from Ghana like the end of last year, and I don't even know, like I think it was January, and I was just like getting a bit comfortable again, and slowly and surely my routine slipped. And I just got to the point where I was waking up feeling so overwhelmed, rushing to work like every day, like it's a 5-minute walk to where I work, and I was waking up like 20 minutes before to like shower, get ready, get changed, and like rush out the door. And I was late for like pretty much all the days that I was working, which is such a joke. Like, it's not okay to do that. And it just kind of reinforced again this negative image of like being late and like not taking responsibility seriously. And it's all because I just wouldn't have time for myself in the morning. So a promise that I'm making myself, you know, not even from today, like I've had that conversation with myself, and I'm gonna keep implementing it, is waking up early, like an hour or 2 hours early, and like doing what I know works, right? Because when I was doing it, I felt amazing. Even just doing like 20 minutes of a workout, journaling, like spending time to do a little bit of skincare, you know, putting a bit of makeup on, like that would really kind of set me up for my day. And guys, again, this is something that I stopped doing, and it just made me feel so crap when I stopped doing it. So if there's one advice that you take from this video, it is to have a solid morning routine. There's a really good book that I'll recommend you called the 5 a.m. Club, and obviously the idea is that you wake up at 5 a.m. The thing is, you don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. That's super extreme in my opinion, because obviously getting enough sleep is important. But what I would say is look at your current schedule and just see if you can maybe wake up like an hour earlier, just so you can have that time to like really collect yourself and collect your thoughts, and, you know, have that just sense of calm, because I promise you, when you have that in the morning, the rest of your day is so much more, just not even positive, but like your day just has so much more clarity in it, and you're able to react to things better because you're coming from a place of peace as opposed to a place of chaos, which is definitely what was happening to me. Like when I was rushing to work, I'd literally be panicked, like it was embarrassing at this point, you know? And so something had to change, and that definitely was my morning routine. As you come along with this journey with me, I'm really kind of keen to show you guys what I do in the mornings. I'm keen to hear your ideas as well, because honestly, YouTube is amazing for like learning from other people. So please, if you've got any tips or tricks to maximize your morning routine, or something that you're doing that really helps, please put it in the comments down below, because I want to learn from it, and hopefully as a community we can all learn from each other. Okay, so the fourth thing, and this is such a cliche one, because I'm sure we've all heard the term where it's like, your network is your net worth. Like, show me your friends and I'll tell you about yourself. Like, we've all heard that thrown about. I'm here to tell you that it's true. It's 100% true. Who you surround yourself with will really determine the course of your life, because who you surround yourself with are the same people that are gonna either feed into you and help you grow, or not even help you grow, but just like create a safe environment, or they're gonna be toxic and they're gonna really just break you down slowly but surely. And I have been in both situations, so I think, you know, I'm speaking from a place of been there, done that. Please listen to my advice. And I got told this advice, and I'm glad that I've finally taken it on board, but it took a while. But even on this process again of reinventing myself, I'm really intentional about who I surround myself with. So and I've seen it works, because in the past, or like the past version of me, she would just like be going anywhere, you know, want to go here? Yeah, sure. Like, want to do this? Okay. Like, this person that I've not seen in like 6 months to a year just says that, do you want to go out? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I kind of did it because I respect people, and I really respected my friendships, because I think relationships are so important. But now, before I kind of say yes or commit to something, I ask myself 2 questions. A, do I truly want to do this? And B, is this group or is this friend someone that is going to either help me grow, someone that I feel safe around, or someone that is edifying, as in encouraging? And if the answer to those questions are no, you know, I probably won't kind of surround myself with them. And I know that sounds really picky, it sounds really selective, and you might even say it sounds kind of stuck up, but I think it's so important to surround yourself with people that you can relate to, and people that really build you up. Because honestly guys, I've also been in the situations, as I said, where I was just kind of open to everyone and happy to be friends with everyone, and I think that's great for a networking kind of sense. But in terms of deep friendships, I've also experienced, you know, friends that have been really shady, and friends that have kind of tried to knock my confidence, but like in very subtle ways. And I've been knowing this, like I even speak to my mum about it. You know, when you tell your mum about your friends, because some of them be acting really shady, I tell my mum about like these people, and yet I'd still go out with them. So I think, you know, just identifying the people that maybe no longer are good for you, and just not cutting them off, I don't believe that, but just maybe creating some distance and only kind of putting yourself in spaces with them when you absolutely have to, but probably not by choice. And then on the flip side, I feel like in this season of my life, and this is something I really prayed about, but God has put people in my life that I believe are so intentional with, you know, everything they're doing in their lives. And I've learned kind of that discipline of intentionality. You know, I'm now friends with people that are so positive, like people that are praying for me, people that literally send me positive messages on WhatsApp, and like in a phone call we can be transparent with each other, share each other's dreams in a very transparent, open way. And honestly, because of that, I feel like I've grown massively. And also, one thing I want to say is always surround yourselves with people that you can learn from. I'm not going to name her name, but she'll know who she is. But this one friend that I've recently got to know, she's amazing. She's literally been able to like grow her business, and she's so positive. And like when we talk to each other, it's crazy, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like we have the exact same mindset. And you know, I'm so grateful to know her, but I learned so much from her as well, because she's doing essentially what I want to do, but like at a much higher level. So she's so like willing to share those tips and tricks, and she's telling me like, do this, I tried this, and like I love that. And then I share with her as well things that maybe she wants to know that I'm good at, and it's just such a positive interaction and such a supportive one as well. If you're watching this and you don't have friends that are supportive, please like do yourself a favor and get some new friends. And even if you can't get new friends straight away, and it means that you have to fight solo for like a certain amount of time, that's probably better than surrounding yourselves with people that are not going to help you in any shape or form. Seriously, like use that time to work on yourself, go a bit solo, and then eventually when you start working kind of on yourself, you will attract people that are on your level in terms of your mindset and in terms of like what you want to achieve and, you know, the kind of life that you want to build. So I truly believe that, because I've seen that in my life, and I'm just excited to get to know like more people that are on the same vibe as me. Like there's no reason why you should hang out with people that kind of have opposing views. I think that can be good for some seasons and for certain scenarios, but on the whole you need a supportive and encouraging group of friends. But on the whole, having a supportive and encouraging group of friends on this journey is going to really help you reinvent yourself and take you to where you need to get to. The last and the final thing that I'm doing to reinvent myself is just developing a learning mentality. It's so crazy because obviously from the ages of like, I don't know, year 1 until you go to uni, you're pretty much learning what the system and what society wants you to learn. You might have even got a degree, so you're clearly a learned person. However, when it comes to learning about ourselves and learning about kind of the dreams that we want to do for ourselves away from like the academic things, I feel like you have to develop a learning mentality again. And for me, at the age of 26, I feel like I'm in that process where I'm learning about new career paths, I'm learning about different ventures that I could get involved in, I'm learning about different mindsets, I'm learning about different lifestyles, and it's amazing to just be able to soak up all of this knowledge. But to be able to do that, you have to have a learning mentality. You can't go into situations thinking that you know everything, because you don't, but learning from other people and learning from those that are living the life that you want to live. And that's important because it's kind of a cheat code. Like they've been there, done that, and they have like the proof. And so finding someone like a mentor, finding people that again have done the thing that you want to do, that's going to be so great to learn from. But if you can't even have access to those people, like there's so many resources online. Social media is great. I mean, TikTok, there's a lot of people on there that I learn from all the time. And let's not forget Google. Like if there's a skill that you're short on, you can always Google it. For me, making YouTube videos, I feel like it's a big learning curve. I've been using YouTube videos, TikTok, Instagram Reels, like anything that is accessible to me, which is probably accessible to you too. And then just going from there and like using what I have. So I feel like definitely just develop a learning mentality, ask questions, like be curious. And I feel like at this age, it's easy to kind of settle and just kind of think that you know everything, or feel some type of way about asking people for like help, basically. And I find that so weird, because one thing about me is I love to ask people questions and I love to do my own research. I'm very curious, and I want to, in this stage, just really like amplify that and like find out like specific answers to specific questions and use the best resources, which, like I said, most of them are free. And I guess in the past as well, like when I've not been interested in, like with my degree, there were some aspects that I loved, some aspects I just didn't care about, and those things that I didn't care about, like I just wouldn't make the effort to learn. So I think when you truly care about something and you want to find out the answers, like you will use what's around you to do the best that you can and find out what those answers are. So those were my 5 simple things that you can do right now to start the reinvention process. I am on this journey, as I said, myself, and I'm so excited that you guys get to come with me. I'm really excited to make more videos on what I learn and just share that with you, because as I said, I'm not an expert, but I am willing to do that work. I'm willing to kind of also document the process, the highs, the lows, the good, the bad. Please come along on this journey with me. If you've enjoyed watching this video, then please don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. It means the world to me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.